Today I want to show you guys my workhorse of an AEG. This is the gun that I bring to every single event that I go to because of how reliable it is, how consistent the groupings are, and how snappy the trigger is. So in today's episode of the Airsoft Armory, let's dive into my freestyle Mark 18 build. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome to an episode of the Airsoft Armory, where we showcase custom Airsoft builds from around the community. If you enjoy videos like these, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon next to it to get updated when we post brand new videos just like this one. So I love this rifle because of how consistent and how reliable it is. This is the gun that I can bring to any game and I never have to worry about it breaking. I've never had issues with this gun, and it's just been an absolute workhorse through rain, snow, mud, anything I can throw at it. And throwing the gun literally I have at multiple events by tripping, it just keeps on running, and that's why I love it. So this gun started its life out as a VFC Mark 18. This was pre-Avalon, so it didn't have the Avalon gearbox, and there needed to be some things replaced in it, which we'll talk about later in the video. But what I love about the VFC Mark 18 specifically compared to other brands is how accurate the color of the rail is. I think that that's one of the things that I personally really look for in Mark 18s. I think a lot of the other brands just look a little too orange, and I love the color, and I love the really just the details on this gun. Because this isn't an Avalon gearbox, this actually has the Colt licensing on the lower receiver. I think it looks really cool and goes great with the Knights Armament QD suppressor that I have on the end, which also has trademarks on it. Now this is foam filled, and funnily enough, despite the fact that it's a QD suppressor, the QD part of it, it broke. Now we're going to work our way back and go forward. On the back of this gun, I have a PTS enhanced polymer stock. I love this stock. I wish it was on every single M4 that uses a battery that I own because it has so much space, but it's not super bulky at the same time. I can fit 3 lipos in here, and I have enough batteries for an entire 2-day event. It's super easy to open with just these 2 little tabs in the back, and that gives me access to my batteries back there. It has sling attachment points on the stock if I'm using a 2-point sling, which I typically do. I absolutely love this stock. I did a review of it a couple years ago, and even to this day, I absolutely love it. Now I do have a sling attachment point right here at the end of the buffer tube. This is the sling attachment point I'll typically use, but I also have one up here at the front. It is a Magpul RSA, and while I don't have it on the gun right now, I do use a VTAC 2-point sling. I think it's my favorite 2-point sling out there. A lot of my friends use it as well, and I absolutely love it. Some would even say that it's a glorious 2-point sling. Moving a little bit forward, there are some things I kept stock on the gun, like the pistol grip and the iron sights on here. The reason why I did that is eventually I think I'm going to turn this into a military clone instead of a freestyle build. Now, I do feed this with PTS EPMs. While I do think that regular StanAgs look really cool in this gun, 150 rounds, you can get the 200 plus round ones from the EPM ones. These are just fantastic mid-caps. I highly recommend the EPM and the EPM 1. And then finally, to round it out for what I have on the rifle right now, I have a primary arms micro red dot on one of the primary arms mounts. I love this red dot. I'm a huge proponent of using quality optics in Airsoft because they're going to make your aiming experience better than Chinese ripoffs that you would find, or just lower quality optics in general. I also have it on their mount because it's very reliable and very stable compared to other options I've used in the past. Now, while the rifle is pretty bare right now, I would say there are some other attachments I will use that I don't have on here at the moment. Like I said, I use a Viking Tactics 2-point sling. I'll also put on a lens protector typically because the primary arms does not make kill flashes for it. Now, you might be saying, Lane, there's not a lot on this gun, and you're absolutely right, but that's the way I like it. I don't want a bunch of useless accessories that are really just for fashion. This is purely for performance and making sure it's a light as gun as possible, because with the RIS-2, the Mark 18 rail, it's a little front heavy, and I don't want to add anything onto that I don't need. Now, this gun, while it is kind of bare on the outside, I think the internals are really what make it shine and why I love it so much. So like I said, this started its life out as a stock VFC. However, there have been some upgrades in there, and I think the one that does the best and makes this the best improvement for this gun was the Gate Titan MOSFET that was installed. The Gate Titan is one of those accessories for Airsoft, one of those upgrades I will recommend for any Airsoft gun out there, whether it's a V2 like this, a V3 for an AK. I think it's a fantastic accessory to add in your gun to really take advantage of that Gate Titan MOSFET. There is an ASG 45K motor in here, which makes this gun incredibly snappy, especially on an 11.1 LiPo. I'll typically use 7.4s, but with an 11.1, this gun just fires instantly. The trigger is super crisp, and it has a great rate of fire, even on semi-automatic, to the point that I never use this gun in full auto. Now, to make sure that my BBs are going to land where I want them to, there are some barrel and hop-up upgrades as well, including a Prometheus barrel in here, the stock VFC hop-up, but a Crytac bucking to make sure that those shots are going exactly where I want them. Now, one of my favorite things about this gun, and one of the things that most people kind of turn their head at, there's an M90 spring in here. And you might be saying, Lane, why would you have such a light spring? I can go anywhere with this gun. I never have to worry about velocity limits because I'm shooting in the low 300s. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, don't you want that extra velocity? Well, not really. I'm easily hitting out to 175 feet with this gun. Sure, it takes a little bit longer, but I'm reaching that distance, and because I'm using heavyweight BBs in this, I pretty much exclusively use Elite Force .28 or .32 gram BBs on a windy day. They are still feeling it despite the low velocity on 175 feet out. So I don't miss having the higher velocity, and I really love this gun because, again, I can take it to any event and never have to worry about the velocity being too high and not being able to use my favorite Airsoft gun. Overall, that is my workhorse of a freestyle Mark 18 build. Externally, this is only what I need, and that's what I love about it. Because there isn't a lot on the gun, there's nothing to get in the way while keeping it very lightweight, and I absolutely love the gearbox in this. This is one of those guns that I know that I'm going to be keeping forever. But you might be asking, what video should I watch next? Well, maybe you could watch the entire series of the Airsoft Armory with this playlist up here. Well, this is the second episode of the series. Don't worry, there are more on the way that are already edited. Or, maybe you could subscribe to the channel by hitting the little logo right here. And once you're on the channel, hit the bell icon next to it to get updated when we post new videos. But this is Lane from the BB Warrior, taking a look at my Mark 18 build for an episode of the Airsoft Armory. And I'll see you all next time.